Hey everybody, welcome back. We are M.I.Diverse. Thank you for coming in. I'm probably messing up something I said I wasn't going to mess up last week, but yeah, we're trying. We're really trying. So, just want to say, really open up again. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Today, like we said last week, today we're going to be talking about pets. We all have different experiences with pets. We all have had different pets. I'm sure I've at least had like two or three different types of species of animals in the last like 30 years for me. But, yeah. So, anyway, does anybody want to start or, I mean, let's see. So, okay, so I guess I'll start. Art. So, I mean, at least for me, I have gone. It sounds really morbid to say. I've at least had fish, a guinea pig. In the last like 15 years, I've had tortoises. So, oh, it's not like I've gone through them in the last like a pet for every year, but I definitely think like I've definitely felt certain things when I've had the pets. I've had the connection to pets, and I feel like it kind of comes to the discussion of being on the spectrum and having a pet. You know, at least I've done. I actually think I may put some notes down where there was a study on people on the spectrum with pets. So if you guys want to like step off with that while I go look up for that like research article, I'll let you guys kind of go on
Yeah.
while I look for that.
Um, so I've mostly experienced just cats, dog, and I currently have one bird. That's that's my mostly my history with taking
What
care of pets.
what kind of bird is it?
Cockatiel.
I can't remember how big are those do those guys get? Because I
Uh,
know
they they're medium sized. They're definitely bigger than cockatoos.
okay
No,
because I
I mean
know
smaller than cockatoos.
okay because I was gonna say I know my grandmother-in-law has like one, and I guess I mean I'm a big guy, so I know like scaling wise is kind of gets a little bit messy. I mean the thing's probably no taller than my pinky sometimes, or like my middle finger, but I know I would be certainly scared to take care of an animal that's like no bigger than my like one of my fingers. But that has to be said. John, have you had any experiences with taking care of pets in like at least in the last 5, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, my family, we've had a couple dogs. I believe we've only had like two, three cats.
Mhm.
Regarding, I know a long time ago we may have had like I think we had like a hamster and a guinea pig. Now I don't know if we only had one or two guinea pigs. I could be wrong on that.
Mhm.
But other than that, that's pretty much all I know in
And
regarding
actually,
any
and
amount
actually one
I've had. My parents.
and one other thing I wanted to ask, did you do any since you two had like experience raising guinea pigs and hamsters, like did you actually do research beforehand before getting um those animals? Because I heard there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to taking care of small animals. Because like it feels like if animals are a certain size, if they are if they are a certain size, for some reason, like the rest of society thinks they're just not like valuable
Yeah,
enough. They're not like respected enough.
like they seem more like of well that too. I was gonna say they also kind of seem more like an accessory rather than
Yeah,
just actual pet.
Yeah, I've even heard, unfortunately, I've heard examples about hamsters being used as prizes in claw machines.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely a little bit weird. Um,
But of course it happened in a it happened in a country where I can't remember, like I know it was in like China, but I don't remember where it is exactly. But of course it would happen in a country where there's just not a lot, there's just no little to no actual restriction um or any law taking care of any sort of
yeah,
animal.
like animal safety laws and such.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't really have that.
Yeah, I do tend to notice, and I don't think that it's just like a neurodivergent thing. It's definitely more of a neurotypical thing. I think like a lot of people. I don't want to say neurotypicals, but I do tend to notice some neurotypical people tend to see like smaller animals as more like prop pets, so to speak. Like they don't really feel like they're taking care of them like because they wanted them as a pet. They're just kind of taking care of them as
Or
like
like
yep, no, no,
or
no,
even or even like when pet stores or whatever, they're just handing these things to little kids
yeah,
who often little kids and teens who often have no idea how much responsibility or really fully understand how much dedication, because they're not the same as a cat and a dog. They have very specific needs. Like I even heard that hamsters are like they're nocturnal.
mm-hmm.
They don't like being in groups. They don't like loud noises or so many distractions that'll get them stressed out. Yeah, it's just very specific needs.
I
Like
don't
it
know. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I
oh,
was
I
gonna say
was
something.
like, you just can't place it in any household. You actually have to do some research and preparation
Yeah.
in order to actually make it work.
I I know this is more of a joke than anything, but I definitely believe it. Is that like hamsters will literally have a heart attack over like a hiccup. It's just kind of it's bad. It's bad that like how unfortunately fragile hamsters are. I think there is a phenomenon that happens a lot, and it's been prevalent for as long as like media television has been a thing, is when a big piece of media has to do specifically with animals. When a big piece of media has to do something specifically with animals, some people want to buy the animal like a pet, and then after a while they don't want it. Look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. People were buying turtles for pets, but then they realized, oh, hey, I don't know how to take care of a turtle. I'm just gonna either flush it down the toilet or get rid of it. Same thing that goes for Babe in the Big City. People were buying pigs. There are numerous
Or
accounts.
like, or
I'm not
when
strong.
uh,
Nope.
or when Finding Nemo came out and everyone
Yep.
was buying clownfish or whatever, and no one knew how to take care of them.
Exactly. And that's the thing is a problem is I think the thing when some of these movies are made that are kind of selling products, people like unfortunately unintentionally buy some of these things, and only because the media that they consume has to do with like the specific animal that they see on the screen. No, go ahead.
And it's not even just like they're promoting something. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of kids being like, I want that animal just like that cartoon animal that I
Yep.
see. But instead of like parents saying, actually doing the responsible thing and saying, no, you just, I mean, unless like, instead of doing the responsible thing and saying, no, you really can't take care of it. You don't have the mental maturity to, or the
Mm-hmm.
understanding to understand it. They Parents just kind of go, they just shrug their shoulders and just don't
drop a couple $100 on like a dog or a
or
turtle
gold
or a
or
fish.
like a clownfish or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a sad thing, especially being a pet owner myself for the past like 10, 15 years. Like, yes, ironically, did I name one of my pets after a character from Ninja Turtles? But that was far after the fact. I just thought it'd be funny. I named her after April O'Neil. Like, that's what she's named after. I even met the guy who created the comics, and I told him that too. I thought it was funny. But I've had this pet, and I've taken care of this pet, fed it, bathed it, all that kind of stuff, for a long time. I have an emotional connection to this pet because she's actually been there for me when I've had emotional issues. And I'm sorry I'm going off the thing because this is actually the main point of the episode. Is at least I feel that, I'm not sure if the facts are 100% correct, but I would at least think that people on the spectrum are a little bit more empathetic than, neurotypical people on certain facts or standards or whatever. And this is especially prevalent because this happened to me very recently. For those who don't know behind the scenes, I lost a pet of mine back in February, and I was devastated. And I think that in this article here is actually another good help to the point is a study from 2022. So the website I'm going to link it below is embraceautism.com, and the article is Autism, Animals, and Pet Ownership. So the study from 2022 finds that autistic adults are equally attached to their pets as neurotypicals, but were less likely to own them, even though pet ownership is associated for better mental health outcomes. I think, from what I can understand, is that also there's a lot of stress when it comes to owning pets, but I can see where the article also argues that even between neurodivergent people and neurotypicals, the emotional connection is still there, if not because of how you feel about the pet, like how you feel about a person, that the thought of losing them is just as painful as the loss of them, so to speak. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I have to, I will bring up the article a little bit more later on, but I
Yeah.
definitely think there's a lot to be said when it comes to ship pet ownership being on the spectrum. So I know it's probably not like 100% true. I mean, this is like a 4-year-old study. You know what I mean? So this obviously could be outdated. We don't know. Even the article says, for one thing, is pets also provide an alternative way to experience social interaction that is free from the stresses that come from human contact. And you know what? I agree. I would rather talk to my pets about the funny little things, or some of the stupid things sometimes, and actually trying to get it back and forth. Yeah, am I essentially just talking to myself? But I think sometimes they're hearing me. I'm sorry. I'm kind of going
No,
in on that.
I definitely can relate to that. I even yeah, I definitely feel like like neurodivergent people in particular, like especially autistic people, they develop a strong emotional attachment to like any, like not even just like pets with, but just anything
Hmm.
that has some kind of meaning in their life.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that I, whenever something is going on with my pets that doesn't exactly seem right, or I feel like I'm not doing enough as well as I should, just because life is life, I feel so bad, and it's
Mhm.
like I don't know. I feel trapped, man.
I I'll definitely say so. My one tortoise that passed. She started getting sick in November or at least December, and I really didn't have like the time or really energy, but mostly time to like take her to a vet. I was trying to find a vet that would take care of her properly, and yeah, seeing her slowly decline was very hard for me. I was basically checking on her every day. I think I was actually making myself sick, like making sure that she was okay. And obviously, yeah, we're here now. And the day that she did pass was very hard on me because of how emotionally invested I was with her. And I'm sure that people like neurotypical people will share the same like sentiment about like losing the pain of losing a pet. But I just sometimes I feel like, and I don't want to sound like I'm being what's the word, crude or rude about it. But sometimes neurotypicals seem to be more able to get a new pet to replace an old one when I don't think I could really get unless like one of my other pets needs a companion. I don't think I could really replace her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's almost like we're deeply empathetic towards like anything. Like I said, it's almost like we're deeply empathetic towards any sort like we treat every single little thing with the same amount of empathetic needs
yeah,
and
and
feelings.
I think when it comes to like autism specifically is yeah, do we seem kind of like we're shut off from things? It's just I think when we're overwhelmed or like they just don't see where the energy that we expend for our emotions goes. So at least for me, you know, sometimes if I'm spending so much emotional energy on my pet and then something else happens, I'm just like all that emotional energy's been expended and the heck all my emotional energy's been expended. So I'm not going to be paying attention to what's on the outside. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, so John, I've been seeing your head bobbing for the last like out of the corner of my eye for the last like 2 or 3 minutes. Do you want to add something? I would rather you add something because I've been blabbing. I
It's
have been
okay.
blabbing.
It's okay. I definitely agree that it is really hard to lose a pet, especially with like if you have adopted a pet with a certain condition. Um, my family years ago, we had a dog that had epilepsy,
Mhm.
and he lived till like he was 14 years old.
Yeah,
Now, for dog age, that's a pretty long life.
yeah. That's. I think that's actually their almost their whole life cycle too.
Yeah, but yeah, and especially because having a pet with certain health conditions, that's pretty good for a dog that had that health condition. 14 years, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, like
And I
when we, oh, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, and I think it also helps when you like take care of it consistently
Yeah,
and you know take it to the vet if something were to happen, and feed it whatever medicine that they need.
yeah,
Yeah, I know when Turk, my oldest, who is still alive, in fact, got really sick, we were basically for we had to force feed him his medicine, but then we washed it down with a little bit of like applesauce to get it down his system because he needed something just to get that medicine he taste out of his mouth. But now he's 50 years old, I believe. I lost track of how long it's been since they said he was 44, but he's 50 years old. He's going. I don't want to. I'm knocking on wood when I say this. He is going strong. He's just a sleepy little old man.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
but it's very commendable. It's very commendable to keep him going for all the way all through that life cycle. So I
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, the hardest
think
one thing when we didn't have the first black cat um
mm,
in our at our house. He was apparently, I think it happened like in the middle of the night that my parents had to rush him to the vet because something happened,
mm,
and unfortunately he unfortunately had to be put down that evening. It was really bad. And my brother, I was literally trying to sleep, and my brother comes into my room and he says, "Hey, by the way, Pat's no longer with us." And I felt like I was half asleep. I felt like I was thinking that it was a bad dream. I was thinking like, oh, I was about to get up in the morning. When I got up in the morning, I said something about like, you know, did I just have a bad dream or did this really happen? And my mom unfortunately said, yeah, it really happened. And I was like, okay, great. I'm like, no, it's
yeah.
it was really tough, especially because that cat was just fantastic. He was great.
I
Um,
you know,
yeah.
I was gonna say I know for sure. Um,
Mm.
there's also I feel like, and this is actually works with not just like neurodivergent people, but autistic people, is that also pets also kind of help with like certain fears. I know for a long time I was scared of dogs, but my
Yeah.
in-laws dog, who's a pit bull, which I actually think was the same, it's not the same animal or pet, but it was the same species of animal that bit my ankle when I was a very little kid. um Coco is her name. Definitely helped me out not be so afraid of dogs. Now it's just I'm just standoffish to the little ones that try to like yelp at me, even though half the time I can like probably boot them over a fence. Oh, but I definitely can see where even outside my own thing, people that are possibly on the spectrum or even just in the neurotypical sense, you know, having strong emotional connections to their animals. My brother-in-law has very strong and emotional connections to all the cats and dogs in their house. You would not believe there's at least like probably 10 cats in that house and one dog. And there was one year they lost a cat and he was a mess. So I can see where, yeah, sorry. I went on a little tangent.
No, no, it's
I
fine. I think that like I think it's also like how we talked about like when it's like people will rush to get another pet.
Yeah,
Um, Usually sometimes it's successful and sometimes it's not.
yeah,
I definitely think that especially when you really feel like you haven't had time to process the
yes,
loss of that pet. Because if you're like, oh well, I guess like 2 days after the pet's gone, I guess I can just look for another one like 2 days
yeah,
after. No, you probably need a week or two
yeah.
just to
I
process everything,
It's been a
depending
couple
on who
months.
you
Well, for me, it's been a couple months
are.
since we lost Jelly,
Yeah.
and I don't think I could really replace her because if we get a younger tortoise, how is April going to react? How are the boys going to react? One of the boys is obviously like 40, 48 to 30 to 48 years older than some of the other ones, and that then JD is at least 15 years old. So, he's got like a, I don't know how more voracious or how more I guess vicious is another good term. I don't know how much more vicious the boys are with age compared to how they were when they were like 5, 10 years younger. So I
That's
think,
another thing you got to take in consideration
yeah,
too, is like how is that how is that pet gonna react to another pet in this
yeah.
situation?
When, because I feel like, April and Jelly were able to kind of mesh together easily. I I'm gonna knock on wood again, because April doesn't seem like she's gotten really lonely. But what we have done is that they have like their own separate tanks. We took a divider out so April can see at least Turk. So they're not just like, she's not in isolation.
Hmm.
Because I know there's a study that said, or there's at least things that say like some pets, if they're together for a long time, the other pet might die from, you know, missing the other pet. And I definitely
Hmm.
don't want that. I already lost one like back in back in February. So that would be hard for me to lose another one. So it's I definitely don't think I have the emotional capacity to get a new pet. If I have to do 3 tortoises, I would rather do that. And I'm been holding my breath because with how old Turk is, I don't know how much longer he is going to live. I don't know with like the actual the resources for the life cycles of their specific subspecies of tortoise isn't like it it goes back and forth between 50 to 100 years, so I just, I can't be so sure. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
hard it's hard to exactly say, so to speak. I just don't know what's true. I don't know if he's like near the end of his life, another couple of years, or he's still like gonna be good and kicking for another 20 to 30. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. Definitely helps to do a little background research as to those sorts of things if something were to happen.
Yeah.
And actually, kind of backtracking a bit, one of the things that stood out to me of taking care of a pet is that it gives me like gives people experience on how to take care of another living being, but in a way that is less stressful, at least to autistic people. I've not like I remember you saying, Drew, in that study that um on like more autistic people feel empathetic, but not a lot of them would take care of pets. It's like I get it, but it's like I'm also like, well, I would argue in some cases taking care of pets is less stressful. Taking care of pets is less stressful than, I don't know, taking care of kids. Like after a while, it's like you view your pets as your children anyway, so
I indeed do. I mean, it throws people off when I say, "Oh yeah, I gotta get some lettuce for my babies." It's like people think it's like, you feed your toddlers lettuce. It's like, no, I have tortoises. I just call them my babies because they're just like little things. So I mean,
maybe you should just get like a baby carrier and just
I
take her.
I've been wanting to get some accessories. I've just haven't taken the time. I know it sounds weird to say. I know one thing I want to do is I want to get like a little tortoise leash. And I don't know how many, if you guys have seen like some of those posts of like people that have reptiles or whatever, they will put them on a leash
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
they
I've
can
seen.
walk around. I love it. I love the jokes of like, like, hey man, can you check out my dog? And then it's like the camera pans down and it's clearly a tortoise. But there's one that says the hardware is tortoise, the software is dog. So I sorry, it's funny. It's funny. I think that and maybe I feel like for me, of course, like people that you guys or other people that can watch this can at least give me a counter argument. I feel like at least for me, I feel like smaller pets are more comfortable for me to take care of just because a much larger pet, like, even all the way up to like a mastiff, from like a pit bull all the way to a mastiff kind of feel a little bit overwhelming just because they need so much more room to take up, so to speak. But I know
Yeah,
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead, make it. I
I
would
think
rather
it
make you make
really
counter argument.
I think it really just depends on like where you live, what's your living conditions like. Because obviously if you live in a small apartment, you wouldn't want to have like a big dog or whatever. But for me anyway, I'm able to take care of my cats and my bird
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah, we because at least my duplex is quite it's at least like 4 rooms because it's a old house and then like a 20-foot yard. But I definitely don't think like I would have the space to take care of a dog that can go like 30 miles an hour or 15 miles an hour. It was just like a light jog. I can do that. I can't I don't have the space to take care of a dog like that can go that fast or is either like as big as I am. I do not have the space for that. So at least for me, it's not as overwhelming. So having pets that are just like sit in my room, I can just take out when it's like really sunny out. That's at least good for me. So I mean, I want to see if you guys have any other thoughts with that. I just have to make one little thing.
Yeah. I think also another thing is like I really do need to and I for me anyway, I know I need to make a like set schedule for myself on letting my bird walk around the place. That sort of thing because I know that he needs to be he like I feel like
They need
he
the
seems
exercise.
yes, needs the exercise and seems to be doing okay, but like I said at the start, when it feels like I'm not doing enough, then I just feel bad. It's like I know I need to do something.
Yeah, that's how I've been feeling lately, especially because it's starting to get warmer. Like I need to take out April Turk and JD because they need the sunlight. They need the rays from the sun, or they're not going to get their vitamins. Sure, I can feed them their vitamins, but they need the heat. They need the air from the outside. They just can't be stuck inside all day. Hey, they're it's not their nature. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
I know. And also, when you do take your animals outside, you actually have to like pay
watch them.
attention to those small animals. It's not the same thing as like you let out your dog and then there you go. Well, granted, you also need to watch your dog
Yeah,
even when you do that, but still.
yeah. It's like for mine especially, like they're only like this big. Like if I look away for a couple seconds, I mean, sure, they're not going to go very far, but just because how tiny their bodies are and their legs are. But if I look away for too long, they're either like under the car or like they're gonna try to go under the porch or something, and I have to dig them out or I have to like grab them out. Like God forbid they get down the road because some people have their big ass cars that they drive on the road. Actually, it's funny. That's the first swear word I think I said this whole episode. Anyway, yeah, some people just don't look out the road, and my tiny pets, you know, people aren't going to be watching for. So I have to make sure that they don't get the onto the intersection. So yeah, you know what? I definitely owning a pet is not like a simple task. It is a life. And kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, I definitely feel like some people don't consider smaller animals to be very much like as valuable as a much larger animal, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Because
almost like if you're not like a certain size, or if you're not like like visibly instantly visibly seen by humans, it's almost like some people view them as non-existent.
yeah, it's because I had this conversation before. As like when Jelly was sick, she would I was talking about it, and like at least my coworkers were just kind of like played it off a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, just because they're not a dog or a cat doesn't mean they're any less of a pet. What's more ironic is that these people that I work with, at least some of them, have they have reptiles of their own, but they don't really see them as pets. It's like, how do you not see them as pets their whole lives? Yes. Um, I will be back in 1 second.
Yeah.
So you guys
So
can
here's
talk.
my
I
emotional
will.
support animal. Oh, John, you're muted. He's
Who's that one?
This one is Oreo. You can probably
Oreo.
tell why. He doesn't
Uh,
like being carried, but it's like, I don't know how else to show. He doesn't. Okay, he needs to go.
well, if the black
I
one,
mean,
black cat was in here, I'd show him, but he's not in my room right now, so unfortunately.
yeah, he's nowhere to be found.
He's just somewhere else in the house.
Yeah, I
I,
definitely agree that there's like a level of emotional support with having a pet. Like,
hmm
makes you less lonely, forces
hmm
you to pay attention to their welfare.
Yeah.
Um, and this might be a little bit of a stretch,
hmm
but it almost feels like it reconnects you with nature in a more
Mm,
intimate way.
yeah, definitely. I agree. It could that could very well be.
Sorry, I'm back.
Baby tortoise.
Oh my gosh, it's a baby.
Sorry. I wanted to bring her down. Well, this is one of my pets. This is April.
Ah,
Baby.
She's very much a baby. And if I could
hello,
get her
baby
head out, she
turtle.
likes her head getting scratched. But I guess she's not used to being on camera. I'm holding her in a
But
towel because they pee when they get nervous, and I don't need that on this keyboard. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so at least for me, she's been a bit like an emotional support. I went through a bad breakup one time, and you know, my family like sat her on my chest, and then like she was just being there for me. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
looking at her.
I think she's looking for emotional support right now because she's like, where am I?
Yeah, I think she's freaking out a little bit, but we have 10 minutes. I don't want to run back upstairs.
hmm
I, I know. Don't look at me like that. Oh, you want
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
the
you could
people on the
definitely,
screen?
yeah, you could definitely.
She's very sociable, but she's also very nervous at the same time.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you can't see it, but me and my wife have this little joke is that she has rage in her heart. She just has you can see it. You can I don't know if it's just me, but she just has a scowl.
She has opinions.
She has her opinions on things. She has her opinions on things, and but we love her. So I definitely think yeah, you know, I'll talk to my pets. I'll say stuff to them, or I'll just like, do you guys do pet voices? This might be a lot.
Oh
The
yeah.
last like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. I do that. I do that
Oh you
sometimes.
like that? Oh you like that? You could kind of see it on the screen. I don't think it showed up on the screen, but she was like rubbing her head against my yeah, no. I think yeah, she's got stage fright. She's got stage fright, but I I've had her for at least 10-ish years. I got a little bit of a are you okay? Sorry. Sorry, I think I made her a little bit nervous. So don't freak out of me. Yeah. Sorry, we're getting a little bit it's getting a little bit quiet because we're also all focusing on April.
We're focusing on the majestic turtle.
Yeah, she's very much a show stealer, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I really think like, you know, I definitely think that people do talk to their animals, people do talk to their pets, and it's not just like a neurodivergent thing. Neurotypicals do the exact same thing. She does not want to be in that towel. I think she's freaking out more about the towel than she is the thing. But I think I've definitely shared my fair share of things with them that I don't think I would open up to, at least except for like maybe like Tabby, maybe. But I definitely have had my fair. Yeah, no, I even I'm distracted. She's no, you can see it. She's like, she's trying to get away, but then she's also like, yeah, give me that scritches. Yeah, she might not look like she likes it, but she likes it. I
It's
seen it in
raw.
chat. Did you literally name your cat after the rapper Biggie Smalls?
So
John, you're
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The reason I call him Biggie Smalls is because he thinks he's one of those big cats in the wild. He thinks he's one of those
Mm-hmm.
big panthers, but he's a small cat. Big cat, small body. So
You
that's why I
know,
call him Biggie Smalls.
you know what's funny? JD acts like he's some big dog, big animal. JD is smaller than April. This is April, by the way. I don't remember if I said that, but JD will act like he's like some big dog, and he's not. He is a tiny little runt of a Russian tortoise that you know he probably could get lost, and he probably could get like not chomped up, but like grabbed up super easy by like a flying predator. I don't know if you guys can see this, but here's the one downside of like owning a tortoise is that she has like legs for burrowing. And you can't see this, but I'm gonna switch hands, April. She's digging my hand up to shit right now. So
yeah.
I've definitely think that, you know, I don't believe it's talked about that much in like the autism community about like people on the spectrum owning pets. At least I would think that the reason I would make the argument that like people on the spectrum have like a little bit more empathy when it comes to like owning pets is just because like if they lose a pet, that's very hard because that's like a whole family member. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, it's hard to act so callously. I don't know if that's the right word, but like be able to be ready to replace a pet just because you lost one.
Yeah, it's like when a parent or a sibling or whatever family member passes away, it's like you can't replace them.
No,
It's the same thing with pets.
that's how and that's how I feel about what like my grandma dating is that like she can date like this new guy all she wants, but at least for me, I have a hard time like her dating because he's not grandpa, and I still miss grandpa after 5 years. I know, April. You're freaking out because you're probably not used to the screen. Oh, you see
She's like
yourself
trying to
on the
swim
screen?
away, trying to run away.
Yeah, she is. You can see she's like digging her claws into my hand. Oh, that hurts you,
Oh,
that hurts you, little shit.
yeah. I've had that before with with my cats since their claws are still
Mm-hmm.
sharp. And whenever I'm like playing with them, it's like, yeah, they'll they'll wrap their claws around my hand, or they'll kind of do the usual swiping whenever they're like playing. It's like, yeah, I have battle scars.
With the Yeah, no, I've had plenty of battle scars too. This one specifically will be a little bit of a biter. Like you try to feed her, and then out of nowhere she like tries to take a bite out of your finger. But I guess you never heard the phrase "Don't bite the hand that feeds you."
I just bite everything.
She does. She does. Like me, Tabby say, she has the rage in her heart.
If she was a human, she would be a podcaster, have a lot of opinions.
I have all the opinions in the world, and I have very negative opinions. Very, very negative ones. Yeah, she's definitely hurting my hands, but I don't want to just like lay her down. Oh man, she is molting. I didn't even realize she is molting like bad right now.
Sometimes when it comes to my cat, when I give him attention and the claws come out from his paw,
Oh,
I'm like, no, no, no
oh,
attention
don't
now.
don't get me started with we can actually go on for a little bit longer if we accidentally do, we just do. But it's funny because like my in-laws cats, like they'll try to get attention from me, and then like they'll be like scratching up my hands, or they'll be trying to get onto me, and they're digging their claws deep into my leg. It's just like you gotta stop. Don't. There's one cat that tries to bite my toes. It's like, why? What is with you and toes, dude?
And there's this times then there are times where one of my other cats, Tiger, um, whenever I open the pantry to get food, he always has the urge to just run in and just stay there. It's like, is that your new room now? It's like you can't be
Yeah,
in there. I'm gonna close the door on you if you don't get out.
yeah, that happens. I know. I know for certain. There's a whole section down in the basement at my in-laws' house that the cats have basically taken over. Like that, it's not even their room, that room anymore. It used to be an arcade room, and now it's just their room. So, oh, now she calms down. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Inconsistent needs.
it
Just
really
very
is. I think that
sassy.
I think it just really kind of goes to show is, you know, at least for me, I really feel like I have a strong connection with her. I have a strong connection with my other two, even though one is a little bit of a little bastard because he will attack, he will bite if prompted.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it just goes to show how these pets really do have I mean, like my cats are probably sleeping right now, but they just have a lot of personality that you can almost attach human traits to.
oh yeah, I mean, why
Like
you? No,
like
go
for
ahead.
example, my cat Tiger is like he thinks he's the king of the castle and wants and he's the loudmouth. He wants everyone to know that he is the boss. He is the top dog. Everybody should listen to him.
Oh Lord, he coming. Sorry, we just seen. We'll see. You'll see in a second.
We got a cat.
We got a big old
All
cat.
right, have Biggie mouth.
No, no, I can see. I can see.
Look at how big he is. Nope. He's
That's why I
showing your
said,
weight on the
"Oh Lord,
camera.
he coming. He is a fat cat. That is one fat cat right there."
Now you all understand why I call him Biggie Smalls now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is kind of funny. I think naming
No, you're
conventions
gonna
too.
stay right there.
I I know some people. Yeah, I guess pets as a conversation as a whole, I think isn't just a podcast or like hour long conversation. I think it's just kind of needs to be said as a whole of like how people will interact with their pets. And you know I definitely, I said before, I definitely feel kind of frustrations when like people don't treat animals that aren't like the generic pets
Hmm.
as pets because you know they're not the regular type of pet.
Hmm.
Just because my pet is not a dog or a cat doesn't mean it's any less of a living being that I've made like a emotional attachment to. I think that just needs to be said. I think some people just need to understand that people can make emotional attachments to animals that aren't just like dogs or cats.
Hmm.
I don't know if the mic is picking it up. She's very much trying to get into my hand or get out of this towel. So
I'm not hearing anything.
okay, good. Yeah, we could. Because I'm lucky she's not an animal that can make sound. I think that's the other thing I like about my tortoises. My tortoises don't really make sound. Turk has a little bit of a sinus problem, so we can hear him when he's dissatisfied. But otherwise, like they don't make much sound, so I don't have to
Hmm.
worry about them barking or meowing. So at least that's what I like about them. And plus, no allergies. They are
Hmm.
completely hypoallergenic.
Hmm.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah, and also like at least for me anyways, having my two cats and having them make noise at the very least, whenever I'm like sleeping at night or whatever and I hear like noises or something, I'll just be like, oh, it's the cats doing their zoomies again.
yeah, yeah. And plus, another reason I don't think I need cats in my house is because, well, for one, Tabby has a cat allergy, and two, we already have enough strays in the neighborhood. I don't need my cat having like babies with other cats. So, yeah, I think that just is another thing to be said. At least with at least with this one down here, there's nobody else in the neighborhood that has a tortoise that like she would have be having babies with. So it's like I don't have to worry about like giving up like little baby animals up for adoption only if I breed them myself. So,
Hmm.
but I think she's either tired or getting impatient. So I have to do this one handed because I don't want to freak her out. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. I actually do have to move you because I have to get over to my mouse. So do all the fun stuff, please. Share the crap out of this.
Do all the
And
fun things that all the YouTubers are saying.
do all the fun stuff and you know, check us out. We're on YouTube. I gotta get back on the Spotify again. I have been so my hands have been so full with doing outside of this stuff. I've been so busy. I don't mean to be. And now, hopefully, I'm gonna be busy more. Not not like I don't want to do this, but more like I'm gonna be busy more doing other stuff for TinkTank as a company. So let's all hope for the good stuff. Let's and we're just gonna say that this, so people know, Jenna, she just got a 9 to 5. So everybody clap for Jenna.
Yeah, I finally entered the
She
workforce.
entered the workforce. So if things need to be changed up, I'll let you guys know. And yeah, so we just want to say thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. I have a very very grumpy girl here. I think she wants to get back upstairs. So we will see you guys next time.